Hey everyone, Dave Ganderos here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. This channel is focused on ways to generating wealth, generating streams of income, and I show you ways that I'm going about doing that, and hopefully you can take away some lessons learned or some new ideas on how you can achieve your wealth goals, whatever they may be. So before we get started, please consider subscribing to my channel, clicking the little bell, liking and sharing this video, get it out to more people. When we get the subscriber base up to 2,000 members or subscribers, we're going to give away some crypto. So please consider putting the little bell alert on so you get the email saying the video came out to participate in that giveaway. Also, make sure you look at the video description. Today we're going to follow up on VeChain and some other of the coins here. I have 4 of them here that I'm going to talk about. But in the video description, I talk about a couple different things. First of all, I give you a timestamp, so if you don't have time to watch the whole video, you could jump ahead, jump back, jump around to the different timestamps of interest. In addition, I kind of talk about some of the topics of the video so you can get an idea what the video is about. More importantly, I provide a disclaimer here to make sure you guys are aware this is not a signals platform. I'm not providing trade signals. I may talk about the charts as though I'm taking a trade or if you take a trade, stuff like that, but it is educational. I want you to see how I go about putting and updating technical analysis on the charts. I want you to see how it's an ongoing thing. It's not a one-time set it and forget it and take the trade and hope for the best. You got to continually look at the charts, got to modify the charts based on the new price action, and I want to make sure you guys are very clear here that this is not a signals platform. I'm not giving you trade signals. This should not be considered financial advice. This is just me showing how I go about my technical analysis in the hopes that you learn the skill set for yourself, and then you go ahead and start doing this for yourself to figure out your trading plan, how to do risk tolerance, risk management, and proper sizing of your accounts so that you don't over leverage yourself and then blow your accounts. So unfortunately, every trade is not going to be a positive trade. You will lose trades, but the goal here is to create the skill set and the chart analysis to give you a little bit of an edge, or not take a trade if everything doesn't look good. And if you do take a trade and if it goes the wrong way, if you do proper risk management, you won't lose too much. Also here, I thank the person that commented in my other video asking for an update on Voyager. That's what I want to hear. I want to hear some feedback. I want to know what you guys want to see. So please take a moment and consider commenting on the video. In addition, there's some other opportunities here that I talk about in my videos on my channel. If you're interested in learning more or getting started, take a look at these, click the little links and get started. And then finally, some ways to get in touch with me. And then some associated videos that you'll see in the video description underneath this video related to the topic. So you'll see some more history on the VeChain analysis and such. And then finally, I just put some keywords for the YouTube algorithm to try and get this video out to more people. So please be sure to check the video description. Please like, share, subscribe, click the little bell. Let's get the users up to 2,000 so I could do a giveaway, and then we'll set the next goal for the next giveaway after that. All right, so with that being said, let's get into the content. So first one we're going to go over is VeChain. Now VeChain, I have this on the daily chart. You could see from the previous video, we were just approaching that pivot. We just kind of said, okay, let's see if that pivot holds, and then we can go from there. And basically, you can see it's pretty much holding. Let's zoom in a little bit to see if the pivot should be moved to the other peak, but it looks like it's exactly a double top. So this pivot could stay, and then it's headed down. So this is what we're expecting next, is a somewhat of a retrace so that we can get into the next trade. Now, The only thing I see here, when you start driving down a little bit deeper than the daily chart, on the daily chart you don't see much. It's, you get a big picture, you can see it's an upward momentum. But when you start driving down to the lower time frames is when you'll start seeing what's really going on in these immediate areas here. So the only thing I would say is at this immediate term right here, looks like we could be having a little bit of a wedge triangle formation happening here. Now it's very low time frame, so the lower you go, less these things really hold. But you could draw something like this, and here you got to pick. You got to kind of see what's happening here. So this is an upward going trend into a triangle. So there's a little bit of a higher probability that it'll break up rather than down, but we do have to wait for the breakout. If you take your trend line tool, you could kind of measure from the top where the A is down to the B levels. Oop. And that'll give you an idea where the breakout can go. So you just throw that on the chart. And now you wait for the breakout. If the breakout happens, this is where the targets for these patterns can be. And as always, let's draw some squares in here. So certainly you would see some resistance happening at this previous pivot high. Same thing for the bottom. You would see probably something like down here. So those would be some targets. Of course, the pattern target and the pattern target. Now also on the 1 hour, we have a we still have a deep crab that's in formation here. Let me just fix that. Okay, so you could draw that incomplete pattern, and the idea here is that if this pattern is going to complete, the price action will go up to D. So again, we could throw the pitchforks on here. We could tweak this into where price action is. So you can see the median line has not been hit on this pitchfork. So, with this breakout, it could push higher and go up to here. So, in the higher targets, certainly the D is going to be an area of interest. Put that up there. And then depending on how fast this price action goes, this median line is the price action is always drawn back to the median, so this price action should be attracted to getting to this point here. Now the downward facing pitchfork doesn't make sense to put in here because we don't know, if D is going to be completed. But when D is completed, we could put the pattern on there. Again, just remember, when D is completed, this is a bearish pattern. So right now the bearish pattern is not completed. So basically what I'm trying to say is, if you take the breakout here at 0.092, you can have a legitimate trade all the way up to D, and then at D you should strongly be considering getting out of the trade, because it's possibly going to turn bearish if this pattern is completed. Now let's zoom back out and see what's going on with these fib levels. I don't remember where we had this fib level drawn from. All right, so we have it drawn from top to bottom. Okay. All right, so again, we drew it on a lower time frame, but on the higher time frame, these are still in play. We are looking for, if this pattern is completed to the D, that's when you might start seeing it come back down into this area for the retracement. So, it could hit the D to complete, and then that would be the end of wave 3. And then we would see a pattern down to 4. And then up to 5, up to these levels. So again, like I mentioned, we zoomed into like a lower time frame here, and we're just playing. We're playing the D to see if it plays out. Otherwise, this might already be on its way down. So if this pattern doesn't play out and it doesn't go up to D, then if it breaks down, then we might be headed down for this retrace on the higher time frame, which will set you up for a nice entry down here. So you could play, if you are a bear and you want to play the breakout, you could play the negative breakout on the lower time frame triangle that I just showed you here, for the immediate future. But on a bigger picture, you can look towards having the price action go down lower and into the 0.382 and the 0.5, on the downside if you are a bear. But what I would be doing is waiting for price action to come here to get in for the next leg up. Alt season is not over yet, but a nice retrace, down to 38.2 or 0.5 or somewhere down here would be a perfect entry for a new trade. So that's what I see for VeChain. Let's see how it plays out. Let's just take a little bit of a snapshot. Maybe I'll start taking snapshots of these as I do the videos, and then we can come back the next day or next 2 days or whatever. We come back and look to see how it played out rather than going back to the video and looking at it. Might be just easier doing it that way. So we're in a pattern. We're looking to see if D might be completed. If the breakout's on the upside, these are some upside targets. On the downside, certainly this is the target, and then you can see here there's some resistance right here at this red level, and then down at the lower side, as price action breaks out, for me, I'm looking for an entry for a buy entry down here. Now that might be too far to go. That's a 50% retracement, but when Bitcoin starts rallying, that typically, the alts will do better, but money will flow out of the alts and into Bitcoin if Bitcoin's the one making the move. So we might see some weakness here. In the immediate future, though, just play this triangle and see, depending on if you're a bull or a bear, or if you do both, just play this triangle for now, and we'll come back and take a look at the bigger picture in a couple days. All right, so next one, Voyager. All right, so Voyager seems to have broken out and back into this channel that we had drawn here. You did see though, remember I mentioned that when these pitchforks, one's angled up, one angled down, you can see that there was a big action here right at this area that I said there's going to be a decision that's going to be made. Now it looks like price action has decided to stick to the upward going pitchfork. So what we could do to clean up this chart a little bit is get rid of the downward one, since it didn't, and now it went out and it kind of checked, it kind of broke out and checked. Now it looks like it's going to stick with the upward going one. We can clean this up a little bit. Let's just get rid of this real quick. Alright, so let's see, what else can we do here? Just fixing these trend lines a little bit. You can see it's still basically in this channel. You just got to kind of tweak it to optimize for the amount of touches, and it'd be nice if this is parallel like this. Alright, so let's get rid of some of these Fibonacci's to clean up the chart. So we're on the daily, we're on the big picture here. So this pattern's still in play. What we need to do though is we need to move it down a little bit because price action didn't do the breakout yet. And look at that, it kind of goes into one of our zones we had up there as a target. And we could really fix this a little bit and pick the high and the low of that pivot. And then we got to kind of see where this is headed, because there's no, like, the only thing we could do is kind of high to low, previous low, you know, without any direct places to put it. You should be putting it somewhere here, you know. And we just got to kind of wait to see what price action is going to do now, to see where the second touch on the outer band is, and then we could tweak this a little bit better. But without having any more information, this is all you can really do. You go high, low, previous low, and this is the low, the immediate low before this high. So that's really where you peg that until you have more information on the best fit for this pitchfork. So, I mean, it's really all I see. You're still waiting for the breakout here, waiting for it to go above here or below here. Could drop down on a lower time frame and see if we see something in terms of patterns on the lower scales here. You can see how we broke out of this. We can get rid of this. This was broken out of already, so that cleans that up. I'm not sure why. The daily, we drop down here. It doesn't look the same. Sometimes trading view charts get a little messed up here. So we can come back in here, we can make a better resolution and pick that as the pivot high. Or on the pivot low. So again, you saw this is nice. This is what would have been nice if you would have been able to sell here and buy here a couple times. That was really nice. But now this is really all I see here. I really just see a I mean, unfortunately here it looks like it might be a retrace to push down a little further, so we'll probably see some action down here. We're reaching if we do this, but you could kind of see where possibly some type of triangle might be in the works here. Could throw this on here and see how this plays out on the lower time frame. If we have another touch up here coming down, then we could kind of guide this a little bit better. Or if this goes further down, then we can guide that a little bit better. Right now, this is all we're seeing. And this hasn't happened yet, so we're kind of guessing here. So we'll leave it here. We'll leave it here and we'll see how it plays out. But right now, the breakout, you're waiting for it to break out above this trend line or below this trend line, and this is the target. It's the target on the upside. Again, we drew these in a while ago. These are just previous pivot points. I'm going to get rid of this, and I'm going to get rid of this. So we got this previous high that if it breaks out, we might see some hesitation here. This is the pattern target for this. We can call this a pennant, I guess, because it was kind of an impulsive move higher. I mean, it moved up pretty good. So we consider this a bull flag or a bullish retracement. And I believe, yeah, that's really all I see. So if it breaks out on the upside, consider selling some over here at this previous peak, 1.35 or so. And then the pattern target somewhere in the 9-ish range. So you'd be smart to get out maybe a little bit before the pattern target. So bring this down to like 9. Somewhere in that range. You don't have to wait until the actual targets hit to take some more off the table. So consider doing that. And then up here, this is, I believe, the Fibonacci or the algo extension higher. So you still have a $11 number on the upside. So you got 7.35, you got 9, and then you got like 11. So those are the upside targets if it breaks out here. All right, we'll come back to this in a couple days and take a look at it. I appreciate your feedback in the comments for this. So wait for this triangle breakout for the little mini trade, and then if this, well, actually the triangle's not even formed yet. So we threw this on here to see what could happen here and how this triangle pattern might play out or may not play out. So let's just leave this here and see how this plays out, because I don't have a good second point to touch here yet. I mean, I'm assuming, you don't want to, we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, that's all we could do here. We don't really know about this triangle pattern. So this isn't really a pattern for a breakout. Let's just see what price action does. If we could get another point of trend line point up here on the top side, then we'll have 2 points on the bottom, 2 points on the top, and then this will be a completed pattern, and then we'll wait for the breakout from there. Otherwise, you're waiting for the breakout up here. If it happens before we do another video, what you're really doing is you're looking for this breakout. Once price action pushes out of this, you're going to look for it to come back and check it. Oh, let's see what this is. I never used that. Oh, nice. Yeah, so you're going to look for something like this. And then, oh, how many of these do you have to do here? Oh, wow, it just keeps going. I never used that tool before. I just saw it. Anyway, let's just keep it simple. Let's do the little brush. So you're looking for the breakout here, looking for it to come back and check this line right here. When it goes back off, that's when you should be taking the trade, and you should be putting your stop loss somewhere underneath this trend line as close as possible, so you minimize your losses if it comes back down and doesn't go up. So at that point, then as price action is moving higher and higher, you can kind of, depending on how the price action is moving, if there's steps like this happening before it gets to this new target, you should be incrementing your stop loss accordingly along the way to lock in guaranteed profit. So once it breaks out of here and you're up here and you hit the stop loss, you put the stop loss at break even. That's a no loss trade. And when you could do it, when you can move it up a little higher, then you're actually locking in a guaranteed gain. So basically it's a no risk trade at that point, and that should be a process that you follow to minimize your risk. You don't want to give away profits. Once you're in profit, you want to at least go to zero loss. And once you're in deeper profit, you want to guarantee you some type of win on the trade. Now you're trying to leave more breathing room for it to grow, to go further. But you don't want to find out, that you took this trade, you're working it for a day or however long it takes, and all of a sudden it goes negative on you, or it goes, you make no money. Once you can lock in, you can't get greedy. Just chip away at this. There's going to be another trade. You can see here, there's always another pattern forming. There's another pair to trade. So don't force the home run on one trade. You should have your longer term holds for the coins that you really believe in to get those massive long runs that you don't have to get in and get out of. This is just building additional Bitcoin or things based on your little trading that you're doing daily. And then you take that money you make from those and you move those into your longer term holds. All right, so next one. So that's really all I got to say about Voyager. All right, so AAVE, we're approaching this point of decision, but it does still seem, so pretty much this pattern's gone. Let's just clean that up. This bat pattern didn't happen, so let's get rid of that. This pitchfork didn't hold, so let's get rid of that. All right, let's zoom out to the daily and just kind of clean up some of the other things. All right, so this downward pitchfork seems to be holding so far. It's still here. It still has a chance to make a decision to go up. So we have not passed the point of no return here. What you could do here is you could see probably if we add these extensions how price is still considering what to do here. Still bouncing, is still following. So we'll leave this here until we get to here. Yeah, we could take these back off. I'm inclined to removing this because you got a double bottom here. You got a W forming here, so it is a higher, it's pitched upward a little bit. So I have a feeling we're going to be pushing back higher on AAVE here. So let's leave this. This is still in play here. We still have this triangle pattern. We haven't broken out of the triangle pattern. So really, there's no big updates other than cleaning up the chart a little bit, getting rid of some of the stuff that didn't play out. AAVE is pretty much, we're still waiting for the breakout of this triangle. We could move this a little bit out of the way here. You're already in. You're in this mode right here. This is if you believe that this retrace is going to hold down to 65, it touched. You're in a trade already, and you're looking for the breakout to the upside. If you're doing the retrace buy. Otherwise, you're waiting for this triangle pattern to be broken. Unfortunately, though, it is a downward descending triangle, which is typically bearish. So, there's a little bit of a higher probability it's going to break down than up. But you have to wait for the breakout. Just because this is forming like this doesn't mean that it can't be pushing higher. Again, we're within 1 day of this inflection point of these two different pitchforks, so we'll see within a day which way price action decides to stick with. And if it pushes back up, then it comes back into this upper pitchfork, and then what we would do is we would move this over here. Since this is a double bottom, actually we wouldn't. We would leave it there. Well, we would have to see. We'd have to play. If it's going to move up here, it's going to do the breakout, and then we would have to reset ourselves to what's in play next after this. A lot of times at the lower time frame we can get a better idea, but right now we're still in the holding pattern. We're still waiting for the breakout of this triangle to the upside or the downside. See what price action is going to do over the next couple hours to the day on this direction, either going higher or going lower. And again, like I showed you in the other graph, a lot of times when you get these crosses on these pitchforks, that's when price makes a decision and starts getting alive again. So every time a cross happens, you can see like right here. See this cross right here? See how price pushed down hard? Over and over again, it seems to happen. Like right here, right after this cross, it kind of pushed higher. So let's see what happens. Let's leave it as is. We're waiting. Again, there's no trades or anything to be taken now. Just clean up the chart a little bit, wait for this breakout, and see what price action is going to do. Again, I'm looking for the positive side. I'm looking for the breakout to the upside. But the downside has equal possibilities here. In fact, with this, like I said, with this descending triangle pattern that we see here, it's typically a negative going breakout. But when you look at the bigger picture here, it's still very bullish. And this retracement is hit it very nice right here. Got a double bottom, you got a W forming. Very easily see this push higher. So let's wait for the breakout, take the trade after the breakout, use proper risk management, wait for it to come out, check, and then go up. You got this target, you got this target, you got the, that's the previous peak that you got to worry about. And let me get rid of this because this doesn't make sense. This must have been for another pattern. So there is some resistance here, but I think the major one is going to be this high right here, which is this, and then the algo target on the upside. And then of course you got the extensions. You got the fib extensions all the way up here. So you got a couple areas. You got like a $600 target. You got 683 based on this fib. And then you got like a $1,200 one up here. So if it follows this upward, let's just keep it simple and copy this. Here, and then up here is a longer term, 1,200. I would say cut the difference around $1,200. So that's why I see for AAVE. Again, we're kind of in a holding pattern, so we're waiting for the breakout here. We're waiting for this triangle to form, if it's going to form, or the breakout of this trend line on Voyager. Here we're inside a pattern here for AAVE. And finally, let's look at the graph, which I almost forgot about. We're same kind of thing here. So this is gone, right? Because it's actually coming back and checking it. It might go lower. So this upward pointing pitchfork we can get rid of. This bat pattern we can get rid of. We're in the DCA area. So if you haven't gotten in, this is an area where you consider getting in for this the support right here. It looks like it held. Same type of formation. We're in a downward going bull flagish pattern on the graph. So again, we're waiting for this breakout here. There's nothing else to do here other than wait for this breakout to take a trade. And we got some targets from the previous videos already here, so these are still in play. Can move these over a little bit to since price actions are over here. This is where these are the targets we have on the upside. This is forming very nice. It bounced off the 0.65 just like the other chart. They all have similar patterns. So when one's going to start moving, you can see very easily that AAVE and Graft are kind of moving in lockstep with each other, right? Look at AAVE. I mean, AAVE has the same type of pattern where we're waiting for a breakout on the upside. We got the same pattern on Voyager. We're waiting for the breakout on the upside. So when these happen, they're all going to probably have the breakouts happening pretty close to each other because they're all kind of forming the same overall footprint on these charts. So again, nothing else to say about Voyager. I mean, the graph, other than if you're not in a trade, you should be thinking about getting into a cost average position right here and waiting for this breakout. Or if you don't want to do that, just wait for the breakout and then take the trade, and then do the same thing I mentioned on the other ones. Wait for the check, it's going to bounce up. Wait for the check, it's going to bounce up. Wait for the check, it's going to bounce up. and continue to move your stop loss up each time. So let's leave this on here. Let's see what happens, and we'll come back to it in a couple days. Again, this is on a daily time frame, so this isn't happening quick. Let's drop down to the hourly and see if there's something obvious here. But the only thing I see that's pretty obvious is an inverse head and shoulders, which is a good bullish pattern. Got that, you got that, you got that. So if you take it from the bottom of the head to the neckline, bottom of the head to the neckline, it's already broken out. Actually, the head and shoulder pattern is actually in play already. It's almost at the target, which is good because that means it's pushing higher. It's going to get closer to this upper trend line, which might have the momentum to break out. So that's all I see on the lower time frame. So we can leave that there. We're a little late on this pattern, but it broke out and it's almost at the target based on this head. So that's good news though. If it pushes higher and it hits this pattern target, that means it might have enough momentum to start challenging this upper trend line, which is where you'll be waiting right here for the breakout and the check of this trend line. It's resistance now. If it has problems, and once it breaks out, if it comes down, it's considered support, and that's where you would, once it starts pushing back up and off this trend line, is where you would enter your trade, and then you would put your stop loss somewhere below the trend line, since it seems to have confirmed the support level. So you put it down below a little bit lower, and then as the price goes further and further away from here, you bring this up to break even. So you make your stop loss your entry price so that you don't lose any money. And then you'll see some resistance up here. Once it breaks through and comes back and checks and starts bouncing off, then that's your trigger to move your stop loss up below this support level. You know, figure out where the wicks are, bring it up, you know, keep it below so you don't get taken out. But in case price action decides to change direction and go lower again, you'll guarantee yourself, you know, from this entry price to your stop loss price, that's your profits. So you've turned yourself from a zero risk to a guaranteed profit. I drew that backwards. I'm dyslexic today. Anyway, I'm wasting time drawing this stuff, but you know, you want to lock in guaranteed profits, and that's what you're getting by doing this. You know, that's your trade profit right there, minus commissions and leverage fees or whatever you're trading. But again, that's the whole goal of these trades, to guarantee yourself some guaranteed profits along the way, and also allow it to breathe further if you think it's going to go higher. You don't want to cut yourself short. So maybe over here you take 25% off the table and you move your stop loss up. Or maybe up here you take another 25% off the table, move your stop loss up, and then you leave the rest to hit this, you know, and just continuously move your stop loss higher and higher, and you know, approach those other levels. So just in summary, some of our initial targets here for this price. Could be like a 240, 235, maybe 230 if you want to be conservative for the first target. The previous peak, let's see if we can zoom in to get that number. Somewhere up in the 289, 275 maybe is where you should consider possibly taking some profits there. Let's yeah, you can see where that. So somewhere in that range where these previous peaks are and these wicks, you know, just don't get greedy. Maybe take a 280, get out before the, you know, because if it's only there for a couple seconds as resistance, you might miss your sale. So just get out a little bit before these high wicks, Then of course you got the 3.46 target, which is also the pattern target. We've got to probably tweak that down a little bit down here since it moved down a little bit, but it's pretty close. Maybe on the low end, take a $3 or 3.25. You know, be a little bit more conservative. Don't wait for the exact peak. But the algo target is up here at 346. And then you got the crazy numbers up here, and you got like a say a 650. You know, that's if it gets that high, and that's down the road. I mean, you know, I don't know what type of trader you are, if you're intraday, interweek, intermonth, you know, but these are the smaller targets that you should be looking to get in. You know, price action is not going to go straight up. So just because I'm showing these, it's going to be up and down. Might be another retrace. So take the wins when you can. Lock in your profits. Wait for the next setup. There'll be another bull flag. There'll be new retracements. There'll be an opportunity to get in again. But down here is where you should consider dollar cost averaging in if you're in already. If not, wait for the breakout, get in, and then consider scaling out. You know, 25% here, 25% here, 25% here, and let the rest run. Move up your stop loss so you're guaranteed a win, and then you have a no risk trade, and you're leaving some on the table to breathe. All right, so that's really it for the video on these four. Again, just make sure you use proper risk management. Don't over leverage. Be smart about it. You know, taking profits is never a losing situation. You know, don't go crazy for home runs, because that's how you get killed. Again, you should have two sets of money that you're playing with here. Your trading portfolio where you're getting in and getting out, and then you have your longer term holds where even if you get out here, you're not missing a big run that you might have missed it by getting out. You know, so you'll always have skin in the game if you have two sets of portfolios. So don't get hung up on, I got to be in a trade 100% every time. No, you wait for the right moments. Like a couple days ago when you had all that blood in the street and all those sell-offs is when you should have been thinking about getting into a trade. So depending on what kind of trader you are, if you're a bull, you're a bear, you know, just look for those right moments where you execute on the trades when the time is right. Again, be careful going short in a bull market. In a positive market, it's higher risk to try to trade against the trend. So the trend is your friend. Wait for those weakness days of weakness, the FUD, the nonsense that the government talks about, whatever causes the markets to crash. If the coin has not had some hack, has not failed, has not gone out of business, you know, just realize that it's just scared money selling based on media. And those are the times smart money is taking advantage and getting into the trades on the pullbacks. So you got to be the opposite of everybody else. Just realize you got to have strong hands, and you got to be able to weather 10-20% moves in these coins. That's just the reality of cryptocurrency. So if that you can't stomach something like that, then maybe, you know, again, I'm not telling you what to do, but maybe crypto trading is not for you, and either that or just take a step back and don't worry about trading and just dollar cost average every week, every 2 weeks, every month into the coins that you want to hold, and forget about the swings in your day, because that's just noise. You know, take a big step out, realize how much institutional money's coming in, how much Cardano, Chainlink, Ethereum, Bitcoin, those are all, you know, the top dogs, and they're not gonna do as crazy as some of these lower capped alts. But if you just want to have peace of mind and just kind of just put money in every week and not worry about it, those are some of the top coins. You know, look at coin market cap and pick some of the top 10 and just weekly, monthly, however often, figure out your budget and just buy it every week. Don't worry about the price, because your horizon's a year out, you know, 2 years out. You're not 2 hours or 4 hours out. 2 and 4 hours in a day is trading, you know. So anyway, that's it. I don't want to keep talking here. Anyway, consider subscribing to my channel, clicking the little bell, like the video, share the video, comment. Let me know what other coins you want me to talk about. Thank you for the comment on Voyager. I hope I shared some information for you. Just like I said, wait for this trend line break and wait for this triangle to form. It hasn't formed yet. We have 2 touch points on the bottom, but we only have 1 on top. So we're looking to see where we get some actions on the top here to move this D. But the bigger trade right here is waiting for this breakout and the confirmation, and then just make sure you take the proper risk management. So wish you guys all the best. Make sure you subscribe so we can get the subscriber base up to 2,000 so I could do that giveaway, and then we'll set the next target for the next giveaway. I just want to give back to you guys for growing the channel and being part of the community here. And I'm doing this for you guys. Otherwise, I don't need to spend time on this video talking if people aren't taking any good information away from this, and I'm not speaking what you guys want to hear. You gotta guide me, because I can't read minds. If I did, I'd be a millionaire. If I could read, the future and read the minds, again, I wouldn't be on YouTube talking. But anyway, I'm trying to share this with you guys so that you can learn the skill set. Practice, practice, practice. You need 10,000 hours on the charts to become a subject matter expert in anything. So I'm not claiming to be an expert, but I am putting the time on the charts to practice, and that's what you need to do as well. You don't just get it without doing it. So take what I did here, go back into the video timestamps, go back in time and look at the different charts, try to do the same thing I'm doing. If you see something different, certainly take a snapshot of the chart right here by publishing, and you could post it in our comments, and I could see what you see. Maybe you see something different. Maybe we both missed something. Maybe someone else would come in and say something else. So this is a community. So start communicating in the comments with each other and with me, and share what you want to hear, okay? Take care. Until next time.